All right, guys, what's going on? We're here. We're live. Welcome to a brand new Poker Live podcast. My name is Jose Ingram One, aka the Kate Hall hair colored assassin, aka Joe Ingram One, aka Chicago Joey. Joined today on the podcast by a young gentleman who we had on about a month ago before he was starting off his new project, UpswingPoker.com. Whoa, I gotta find out where this audio is coming from. Hold on a second.
All right. Yeah, you figure it out.
There it is. All right. But yeah, so we're having Doug Polk back on. We're going to see how his 1 month's been going over there on Twitch. He's been streaming a lot of high stakes cash games. He's got a sick upcoming schedule on Twitch where he's going to be streaming a bunch of the high stakes tournaments. So we're going to see how the site's been going, how Twitch has been going, and we're going to talk a little bit of 300K high roller action that he's scheduled to play. And so what's going on, Doug? Welcome back to the podcast, buddy.
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me back. Joey, your hair actually reminds me of an old screen name I used to have. So I tried to make.
Be careful.
You can take it however you want to take it. Okay. I tried to make a screen name on Lock Poker. You know, back in the days where you'd like be on like a million different skins and you're always like smurfing around. You know, back in the day.
Wait.
And I tried to make the screen name The Blue Flamingo.
Okay.
And it reminds me of that a little bit.
I'm perfectly happy with the name Blue Flamingo. I don't mind. Listen, you know what happened? I went, like I said, I was on Twitch. I saw Jimmy Stapler. Goddamn kid has the same haircut I got. I was shocked. I'm literally shocked. Next day.
Why are you so shocked?
I just couldn't believe Jimmy Stapler got this. Jimmy Stapler. I mean, listen.
Maybe you were the influence.
I mean, I heard what happened. I talked to his barber. Remember how I know your barber that cut your hair in Vancouver?
Oh my, that woman.
Right.
Yeah,
Shout out to Jen. So his barber follows me on Twitter, and she said, "Hey, this guy came into the haircut place today. He had a picture of you, and he said, "Can I get his hair?" Yes, Jimmy Stapler's haircut part. He told me that. Yeah, the lady calls me up, me on Twitter. We were talking to each other, and she's like, "He came in with a photo of you, your picture," and I'm like, all right. I mean, it looks good. I like his haircut, but at the same time, I've always wanted to put some color in my hair. I've been seeing a lot on the Whole Foods girl grind. There's a lot of these women with these colorful hairs. I was like, fuck it, man. Let me throw some color in this hair. And this is it. I mean, when it's dry, it looks different, but right now it looks a little crazy. But whatever, man. We got summer coming up.
Dude, I feel like, you know, this is it. You finally made it, bro. People want to look like you. Like, I want to one day look as cool as Joe Ingram. That's what they're saying.
I mean, the thing is, you know, there's probably people out there wanting to do the fucking faux hawk after the last 8 years. I'm sure they want to get that too, you know?
There's a lot of people that have done that and more that will do it too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like an inspirational kid like you streaming on Twitch, looking good, got the girlfriend, you got the friends, you got the poker success. They're going to want that haircut, man. They're going to want the jeans. They're going to want to look like you too.
So let's just engage in this conversation for a second here. Do you think that there's like a maximum age where you can dye your hair to blue?
No, I don't.
There's like no age restriction at all.
Literally no maximum. It depends like what you do. I mean, if I'm going to go to festivals and travel and want to have some fun, I mean, I don't think so. And plus my hair is not blue. Look, it's dark. It's still my normal.
Sorry.
It's just some blue in it and over here.
Yeah, right. So like if you're like 70 years old and you had your hair dyed like bright blue, you think no problem at all.
Why is that a problem? I don't understand.
Well, because people have given me shit. They're like, Doug, how old can you be and still have a faux hawk?
Listen, fuck you. That's what I gotta say. Fuck you. Who gives a fuck, man? You want to worry about my hair? Like, go worry about something. Get a fucking new hobby, man. You want to worry about my hair, your hair, man? They need to get a fucking. They need to get a life.
And you're the one saying some of these things, Joey. When am I gonna get a new haircut, right?
You said about the blue hair. Listen, I wasn't going to bring it up until you brought up the blue hair, but I like the haircut. I like your haircut. Let's not get it twisted. I think it suits you well, my friend.
Okay, well, thank you.
A master GTO connoisseur like yourself in all facets of life.
I love the super liberal usage of the word GTO in all facets. Just throw GTO in there.
It fits. You got a better word.
Good, you know.
You got a better word? Good sound. A good sound doesn't sound good enough. GTO is the word we're looking for.
Okay, all right.
You know.
So let's talk about some stuff today. Let's talk about some stuff.
Have you taught your stream the booty bump, the classic Doug Polk booty bump that you use at a nightclub? Have you? Fine. Fuck it. Teach him later. All right. So let's talk about some stuff. I do got to tell people about the upcoming schedule. We got Hasib Qureshi, aka Dog's Head, coming up Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern.
That's gonna be something.
I know. That's definitely gonna be. It'll be fun. We got Jungle Man, Daniel Cates coming up next week. date undecided yet. Doug's boy. We got Tommy Angelo, one of the gurus of the mindset lifestyle, who's been around poker for a long time. He's coming up, I think, next week. We got the Claudico designer, Sam Grazenfeld, who Doug played against the Claudico bot last year in the Hold'em Heads Up Challenge. We got him next week. And at the end of the month. We got Justin Bonomo coming up later this month, and then we got Fedor Holes coming up, I think the 14th-ish, around there. And then we also have, that might be it. Nope, there's a couple other people. I'm gonna forget some names, but we got a murderer's row of podcasts this month. We're gonna be killing this shit, man. So stay tuned.
That's a lot of content, man.
Doug, speaking of a lot of content, you've been streaming a lot yourself, man. I gotta say, I'm heavily impressed with your. I mean, I always knew you were a fucking beast. When we talked about this website in December, we had a conversation. Me and Doug are talking on the phone. We're talking about the possible success of UpswingPoker. I'm like, dude, you're going to fucking crush it. Like, just knowing Doug, knowing the success he's had in fucking every area of his life. I mean, I knew he was going to crush this. And when the site launches, I mean, I wasn't expecting quite to see this work ethic in terms of streaming as much as you are, just putting in the hours each day. I mean, honestly, dude, it's sick, man. I got to say congratulations on that. And I mean, your work ethic, dude, is sick, man. I mean, just nice work, man.
Dude, thanks. I appreciate that, man. Like it's been a pretty legitimate grind, you know. And actually, like, to talk about Twitch, like I didn't actually even know I was going to be doing any Twitch streaming until like a week before I started. You know, for those of you that I guess aren't that familiar with Twitch, because I think the poker community isn't quite as, you know, knowledgeable about the Twitch community. But Twitch is really amazing what's going on over there. That site gets like, you know, millions and millions and millions and millions of viewers. And you know, I don't know the exact numbers on what it gets. I think when I saw some numbers online, its traffic per month is probably like 500 million, you know, visits or whatever. You know, like I'm sure it's got like 9-figure uniques. Like it's like an insane way to advertise. You know, there's so many people, and the best thing about it is you get like people, you know. And to talk about, I guess, about Twitch a little bit, it's mainly used to watch video games. Most people will watch, you know, people that are playing video games, and the poker subsection of it only began like a year and a half, right, or a year and a half ago, right? So you know, it's still fairly new in the scope of all the games, and it's growing. It's like, I don't know what number game it is, probably like 15th or 20th, or I don't know, something like that. So it's like not as big as some of like the big games, but it's growing, and there's like a lot of new streamers coming up like us. And when we started streaming, you know, Fee started streaming before I did, and we're like, wow, it drives a lot of traffic to our site. It's a really good way to reach out to people. We can answer people's questions. Like, people can kind of
too much strat. Jesus fucking okay. Keep going. Go ahead.
But anyway,
share your strat, Poppy.
Well, I mean, it's not like, I mean, it's not really that much strat. I'm just saying, like, it's a great.
It seems like it wouldn't be that much strat, but I mean, go ahead.
Well, okay, so you're talking about my poker strategy, right? Like, people watching me play and how I play and stuff, right?
No, I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about some strat we talked about specifically when we're not on a podcast about different.
Sure, but I mean, I'm just talking like general strategy of like to advertise your business, you know? I mean, obviously, like, when I look at Twitch, I was like, all right, this is something I need to do. And I got in there, and like the reaction of people, it's been so positive, you know? And the thing is, like, it is the internet. So it's like the internet is going to get like real, like, rowdy sometimes. Like sometimes the chat just like will just go like absolutely off, right? So if you have thin skin, it's like definitely not for you. And you also have to have this ability to kind of like always be talking, like, you know, whatever's going on, you're like, you just like start talking about something, like talk about, hey, you're playing over here a little bit, and then answer a couple questions, give a couple shout outs. Like, you just gotta like always have like a nice natural flow going to it. And it's funny because, you know, right before I did my first one ever, you're like, Doug, you have to have like a catchphrase. You need like some saying or something.
Bazam!
And I was like, what am I supposed to say? Like, bazam? And then you're like, yeah, bazam. I was like, all right, bazam. And so I've dropped like, I don't even know how many bazams on stream, you know?
I think it was funny. We came up with that in the Twitch chat. Like, we were like, we need like a catchphrase, and you win a pot, and then bazam just came out of nowhere, and that was it. And then bazam was born. It was born the first time you were ever on Twitch too.
I know. I don't even know what to say. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to have to truly, because like, here's the thing, right? Like when you're used to just like normal conversation and you haven't been like too much of an entertainer, like the entertainment value I've provided people in the past has always been like me playing poker, right? Not like, trying to be like super out there and like, get my name out there, etc. So, it feels like almost a little bit gimmicky at first when you're like doing like all this random stuff, But the thing is, like, when you watch people in general, they're really outgoing because like that's entertaining. So you have to just be able to like put down like you can't be embarrassed just to say random shit on the air and just like go with it, right? Because like that's just the whole thing. But yeah, man, we're like one of the I mean, I'd say we're probably like third or fourth in terms of like how many people watch us. It's kind of hard to get those exact numbers because it's like hard to really know the sum and total and of stuff, but we're like really rapidly growing and like it's been awesome. I've been putting in like 8 to 10 hour grind sessions.
That's what I'm saying. You've been like grinding. You're playing high stakes too. You're playing 20x50 PLO. You're playing sometimes 20x50 no limit, 10-20. You're playing like a high stakes tournament. Like you just play any. You don't even care. Like you're on stream, which is quite and you're still winning and you're still
kind of.
So yeah, I was gonna say, you had a big tournament score on there. You won $100 and some thousand in one tournament. How's the cash game been? Have you been winning while on stream, or have not been winning on stream?
So just to kind of give you like a more like accurate breakdown of what I've been doing, I would say like 20% of my play has been like 1-2 no limit and under. Like 30% of my play has been tournaments. And then like another 20 or 30% of my play has been like 2-4 to 5-10. Maybe even more than that. But what I like to do is I like to just like throw in a little taste of some high stakes, like every now and then, just to like get people pumped up. Like this one day we were playing like 2-5, and we're just playing a lot. And then I'm like, all right, guys, what do you guys say we play some $5,000 sit and goes? And people are like, holy fuck, $5,000? Like these people are like going absolutely nuts. They're going nuts because like, these guys, a lot of them are from gaming, and they're just like, what is going on right now? But I mean, it's also tough. Like when I'm streaming, I'm generally not doing too much strategy stuff. I'm generally like, I'll say like the what I'm doing, but not really the whys. And I also like play a little different than my normal game. I'm just having like a good time, like drinking some Perrier, drinking some scotch,
eating some chicken and broth. How rich, man? How rich? How rich you have to be to just be able to do this? How much money you got, kid? For fuck's sakes, that's what I'm. How much money you got to have to do something like this, Poppy?
Some amount.
You know what I mean? Like it. Why are people time? Hold on, guys. We're live on YouTube or live on chat or live on Twitch. We can't time out SD. SD is a great fucking guy. I like this guy, man. I like this guy, SD. We can't ban him out. So you've been streaming the high stakes cash. You had big tournament score. You've been streaming a lot of hours. Obviously, Ryan's been streaming a lot too. It doesn't seem like you guys lose. It seems like you guys just win all the time.
Well, that's kind of been happening for years. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, it has been happening for years.
I know. I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, especially now that we're playing like a lot of lower stakes stuff, just to kind of like get content for the stream, and like, I don't really want to be giving away like my strategies and stuff. So I'm kind of like playing a little bit different. I'm playing lower. The thing is, when you've competed at like such a high level for so many years, and then you step like down like a bunch of levels, you're just a lot better than the people that you're playing, because like you're used to competing with people that are like actually like top in the world people,
right?
And you go from that to playing people that are like either struggling at the level they're at, or they just moved up to there, or maybe they're on a downswing, or maybe they're a grinder but they're playing too many tables, they're not focusing on stuff. So it's like, yeah, I mean, like I'm going to crush these games. That if I play like 2-5 no limit or 2-5 PLO, or like some random.
Whoa, hey, whoa, 2-5 PLO. Wait, what? Huh?
You don't think I'd beat 2-5 PLO?
You're gonna crush 2-5 PLO?
I think I'm gonna beat 2-5 PLO.
How? Over what sample?
Is 2-5 PLO like unbeatable or something? Is there like a reason why I wouldn't be?
I mean, from what I've heard, it's pretty easily beatable. But I mean, listen, I don't want to get into that too much. But yeah,
you're gonna protect the home front here, huh?
I think you can beat 2-5 PLO. Yeah, but even it's kind of sickening because you don't really play much PLO, but you played PLO, but you don't. It's not like you're a PLO player, but you'd still beat 2-5. I think it's more of a testament of just how good you might be than anything else.
Let's even put 2-5 PLO to the side then. Like, let's say I'm not winning in some of these games. Like anything that's no limit related, I'm just like crushing it.
I think this really gives people some perspective on just like how good you got or how good you are. Because I mean, as you said, when you go, I mean, it's, you know, you might not be able to have some context playing that high of stakes, but when you actually start playing these hard stakes that are some of the hardest games in the world, and you're still able to do exceptionally well at them, and also, I mean, that just goes to show, man, that the skill gap is just that wide when you think about the debatable best heads-up no-limit player in the world, and then you have guys who are some of the best players in the world at the lower stakes. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, there's still like quite a skill gap. Like people like trying to make it out to be like the best guy is like 0.1 BB better than the second best guy, and like it's just not like that at all. And it's also not like that even in like 6-max no limit. When you look at guys like OTB Red Baron, like OTB Red Baron is like so much better than the second place 6-max guy. You know, he's just so much better. And I don't know why he's so much better, but he is. Like with heads up no limit, like I'm a lot better than the people that are near me. But I mean, I do know why that is. But you know, the thing is this: in game types that aren't solved with unlimited bet sizing, there's just so much room for edge, and there's so much strategic depth to what you can do that there's still like a lot of edge for people that are the best at things when they play people that are still good. You know, which is why it was funny when, like, you know, the Dong challenge was going on, and like I don't remember what the odds that Dong had to give were, but it was
1.8 to 1, 1 point something to 1.
I don't remember, man, but I was like, people in the thread, they were like, oh, no one has a big edge when anyone heads up. This is basically just a fucking flip. And I'm like, guys, that is not even remotely true. Like the edges are still massive in heads up no limit, you know.
We actually have a good question from Pseudonym. He says, if you don't mind me asking, is it not, I mean, it's an easy question, but it's a question I'm sure some people have. Is it not technically still too early to say how hard Doug is crushing these games when we consider the relatively small number of hands he has played so far?
Sure. I mean, I think I've played like, let me think about this. I think I've played about 35,000 hands. So it's like not like too many. I've won about 30 buy-ins in cash and like some retarded amount in tournaments because of just that one score, right?
Mm.
So, but I think I've won about 2,000 big blinds in tournaments EV adjusted, and I've won about 2,500 big blinds in cash EV adjusted or something like that. So, I mean, I don't know, like, you know, sure, I might be running hot, right? I'm not saying that like my true win rate in these games is like, you know, 15 or something or whatever I'm winning at so far. But at the same time, like I'm still doing quite well in them. So I don't know, like what's the chance of if you over 35K hands, you know, you're crushing that hard, what's your chance you're actually like losing or like breaking even? It's like the chance of that's actually pretty low. Now I might be like winning at a not very good clip or something, but on like the realm of distribution, you know, of how frequently that's the case, it's quite low. So I guess we'll see. You know, we'll see over time. Like, I'm probably up like 200K on the stream or something.
My buddy Antsy, aka Badger, friend of the podcast, former guest of the podcast, asks, how good is Doug's 6-max compared to heads up? I'm actually wondering, I was curious about that as well. Where do you, because before we've talked to you in the past, you said that you think your heads up is significantly better, but now do you still feel that way, or what do you think?
Well, I think that my 6-max is, you know, a decent amount worse than my heads up, but like, you know, that's also like kind of misleading because like I think that I'm the best at heads up, and in 6-max I think that I still think that I'm good, but the thing is, like I looked at the competition around me when I was playing a lot of the nosebleed 6-max stuff before, and what I found was that a lot of those guys, like, you know, maybe I'm like 1 BB better than them, or they're like 1 or 2 BBs better than me, but the thing is, like I was like kind of in the pack, you know, and it's really tough when you're playing the highest stakes 6-max games to be in the pack, because there's going to be one fish, and then there's going to be one OTB Red Baron, and then there's going to be 4 other people that are trying to survive. And like I a couple of years ago, I put in like a decent chunk of volume trying to battle that out, I did a ton of reg battling. I did like basically no game selection, so I'm sure I could have done better. And I won at like 1 BB per 100 playing like anything 2950 plus, you know. And there was a lot more like 200, 400, 400, 800 and stuff going back then. So I don't know. I looked at that and I just thought to myself, like, you know what, like, is it really worth it when I still have to be working on my heads up game, still have to be trying to be good over there when these guys are just playing 24/7 studying this? Like, I'm not going to be as good as them unless, like, you know, I really sit down and try to become as good as them. And even then, if I do that, I'm still very unlikely to ever become as good as the best guy because he just has such a leg up on the field. So, you know, I guess I decided that it really wasn't worth the time there compared to, like, let's just say, for example, fucking tournaments, man. Tournaments are such a joke. All of the regs that think that they're good are terrible. All of the guys that think that they know, like, strategy and stuff, they have no idea what they're doing.
Bang, bang.
All of the people who won tournaments, like, dude, obviously I'm good. I won a tournament. They have no clue, man. They have no clue. Every time I play with tournament players, I'm more shocked at how bad they are. I'm more shocked. I could not have less respect for that.
Bang, bang.
This is
like, you say you could not have less respect for these tournament players? Like, these are the live guys, like the live high stakes, like the name guys?
So bad. So many of them, so bad. And like, I just don't want to turn this into like a list of me calling out a bunch of people and, like, you know, for the lols. But like, the point is this: they understand poker and that they understand, like, they need to try and win some pots, but they don't, like, get poker. Like, if you want to compete at, like, the top level and PLO and no limit and, you know, heads up 6max, you name it, like, you're gonna have to really get it. You know, you're gonna have to know how to play all the spots. You're gonna have to know how to where to put all your hands. You're gonna have to know how to, like, make adjustments to people. You're gonna have your own take on, like, the theory of pre-flop, particularly in PLO. There's a lot of different theories out there on what you should be doing. You're gonna have like a really upper level thought process across all spots and the way that it's going to shift based on an opponent. And, like, tournament players can't even figure out if they're supposed to bet fucking middle pair. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's just like night and day. It's like so different. And here's the thing. Because of the nature of the beast, this is what makes tournaments kind of beautiful. Because of the nature of the beast, like, at the end of a tournament, some dude wins, right? Someone wins. Or some girl wins, whatever. We're not gonna be gender biased here on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not.
Some person.
Nobody today anymore. Okay, go ahead.
Some person, yeah, the Twitter thing. But anyway, some person wins, and then that person is like, I must be good. I won, you know. And so there's like this, you know, this confirmation bias where, like, there are people that you know, and these people are out there. There are people that go out there and they just win several tournaments in a short period of time. And then, like, I like, the only way that they can justify that is that they're good. And that's why tournament players go broke so much. They spend too much money. They think that this is going to be coming in forever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's why when you ask people in the tournament world, you ask the people that are running hot what they think ROIs can be like, they're going to say, like, some ridiculous numbers. And you ask people that are running cold, they're going to say some really salty, like, angry, conservative numbers. And, like, you know, the real truth lies somewhere in the middle ground. Now, the other bottom line is this: like, if you want to win tournaments, you have to be winning chips. You know, you have to have a win rate, and most tournament players, like, they don't even know their win rate. They don't even look at their win rate, dude. I'll talk to a tournament player. I'm like, oh yeah, so, like, you know, you looked at your sample, like, what does your win rate look like? And they're like, oh, I don't look at that. Like they don't even know their win rates. They don't even know or care what their win rates is. They're like, I just play tournaments. My ROI is 18% in this type. And it's just like, I'm like, okay, well, that's a super cool story, bro. But like, are you actually winning chips, or are you just, like, you know, getting lucky or unlucky? Also, they start losing, and then it's just like full blown, I'm running the worst ever. Like, you don't even realize, man, I lost 2 flips. You know, like, people act like I don't run bad or something. Like, do you think that I just, like, always run hot my whole career and, like, I got here because I just constantly ran hot? In cash games, you can't do that. You can't grind your way up in the stakes just like being a luck box.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I always tell people that are going to start tournaments or cash games. And when I tell them they're going to start cash games, I'm like, there's no way to get lucky to get to 10-20. Like, I mean, you maybe back in the day, but yeah, like, anyone that plays any form of 10-20 anywhere, like, you don't get lucky just getting into 10-20, getting the skill level to beat that that stay consistently at PLO or no limit. And oh man, I don't want to. No. Okay, so here's what I've noticed, Doug. I think this is the indicator. If you talk poker with tournament player and you talk poker with, I swear to God, a fucking break-even 1-2 player, it's like it's night and day the difference in terms of their comprehension of poker, specific spot strategy, just the way that they talk about poker is just, it's like a different world. That doesn't even make sense. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense.
I would take a break-even 1-2 player in terms of their overall like knowledge over a tournament player all day.
Right. I mean, but I mean, I used to have that opinion strongly before I started doing the pod. But then I'd be having some tournament players on who were some of the debatable best tournament players, and I started being like, well, maybe the tournament guys, like maybe some of these guys, they're a little bit similar to some of the cash game guys, but maybe it's just such a small sample size. Maybe it's the elite of the elite tournament players who.
Well, I'm not saying, by the way, that there are no tournament players that are good. Because I don't want to like throw some guys under the bus that are actually quite good. But what I want to say is that people in tournaments, especially the higher stakes tournaments, they start to feel like they have this right to be there because of who they are, what they've won, or whatever. And like what you've won, like could not even matter less. It couldn't even matter less. What you've won makes like no difference. It makes a difference in what your bankroll is and what you're able to sustain, and thus what your decisions should probably be based around your bankroll. But it doesn't in any way mean that you're now qualified to be playing a higher stakes tournament. It doesn't mean that. And like maybe if you put in like more of a sample, or you just want to gamble it up, or you put an online sample and you can kind of see how you've done, and then you can be like, okay, well, I think that given my results over this like slightly larger sample, that these are my results, and like I think I can move up and add a couple more good value tournaments. It's one thing, but then it's just like people are like, oh, I won the WSOP main, I'm gonna play every high roller, and that's gone really well for all of them. No, I'm just
bang bang. I mean, but, whatever.
But you know what I'm saying? Like there are some guys at the higher stakes tournaments that are legitimately good. But
a lot of those guys playing these high stakes tournaments as well aren't necessarily putting up a lot of their own action. I mean, that's a skill at poker tournaments, is to be able to sell your action at face or at markup, or get people like, that's a big skill. I mean, no one talks about this as like that's an actual skill that some people can have better than others when it comes to tournament poker. It's being able to just get in the game, get in the action, sell your action fast, knowing how to navigate that whole side game of things too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, for sure. That's like its own thing. And I actually like, I've actually sort of removed myself from being part of some aspects of it, because like, all right, so I'll put it like this. For way too long, people will just hit me up and they're like, yo, Doug, I'm selling at like 1.27 in like this event. And I would just be like, it's close. Maybe I'll take my one. And then one day I was like, you know what? I don't believe in any of these people. I don't believe in their ability to make good decisions. Then there's like the taxes problem on top of it. And then I don't get to see the hands that they've played just to know if they're even like making mistakes or not. And then like they just think they're the shit. So like, you know what? That's it. No more buying at makeup. Or markup. I never buy at markup. I buy 0 people markup.
A question that someone asked in the chat, and I'm curious what your answer is. I definitely know what my answer is to this question, but my best man LOL says, why are these cash players not transitioning to MTTs when there is easier money for grabs?
I'm sorry. So the question is, why are cash players?
Why are these cash players not transitioning to multi-table tournaments when there is easier money for grabs? Question mark.
Well, here's the real problem. The real issue is that even though tournaments are way easier, and there's way more money in them, there's much less of a correlation between results and ability. So like, let's just say that I am let's say I'm the best tournament player.
Bang bang. Oh, let's say someone else, okay?
All right, let's just say that. Let's
say someone else.
Yeah, let's just say that. We'll take a random person. Joe Ingram 1 is the best MTT player in the world. Okay.
Shout out to me.
Shout out to him. Shout out to you. So anyway, and he's gonna play a bunch of tournaments. Okay. You could play all year and lose money based on which tournaments you run well and which you run badly in. I mean, like, you could mitigate that risk by always having very small pieces in bigger tournaments, but assuming that you have a bankroll that's correct for the higher stake tournaments and stuff, you could have a losing year. Like, you could be the best player and have a losing year. Now, it's unlikely, and people exaggerate how frequently that can occur, but that could happen to you. Additionally, you can have the most sick year ever and win millions of dollars. But there's like a massive range. It's like anything from like negative to just like all of the money, you know? And that's why you see like every now and then you have like the year Dan Coleman had. You had the year that Nicholas what was Heine his name's Reagan 70. I'm like, Nicholas, what's his last?
Reagan 70, yeah.
Reagan 70. I forgot his last name. The year he had, you know, there was that one like 3 or 4 month stretch where Eric Seidel won everything. Remember that? But anyway, what happened?
Dwyer right now and on pretty big.
Dwyer. So what happens is like people get on these stretches where they just win like absolutely everything, and they're like, wow, this guy's sick. Now, is this guy winning? Probably, because the better your win rate is, the more likely things like that are going to occur for you. You know. So all the players I just listed, they're probably all doing well on average. Probably. Do I know? I don't know, but at the same time, they can easily go through a stretch of just like getting crushed for a year. You know, that can just happen, or multiple years. And like the other problem is like from like a lifestyle / mindset perspective, tournaments are just terrible for you, dude. Like it makes you have to care about flips. It forces you to...
Also, you're playing these 10-hour sessions for sheep. You're playing 25 big blinds effective, 6 big blind of 8. I mean, that's just not fun. I mean, some tournament players find it fun, sure, but come on, that's not fun. 1 straight poker, 2 straight poker, that's not fun. That's just can't be fun.
No, I don't think it's fun at all. And like, but just to go back to this point about having to care, like when you get all in a cash game, man, you just like, especially in PLO, like I actually really love the overall environment in live PLO. And I've played like a little bit of live PLO, but like I really feel like when the money gets in, people are like, oh, what you got? Like, oh, I got a you got a set? Oh, I got a set. Oh, like, you know, people are like way more like, they're like a little more casual. You run it like a few times, like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's not like I'm all in. The other guy's like, I call. And then there's like a fierce like battle of like who's gonna have to show their hand first, and then like I'm not gonna tell you what I have, and you know what I'm saying? It's like way more casual. And then like if you get like set over set, you're just like, whatever. I know that's gonna happen to me sometimes, and that's gonna happen to the other guy sometimes. You know, that's just gonna be a part of the game, right? But so you don't really care that much. But in tournaments, you are forced to care. Because if there's like 20 or 30 people left in a main event or something, and you get your chips in some fashion with some equity distribution, and you end up with none of that equity, the amount of money... we're busy right now. Can you come back in a bit? Yeah, come back later.
Shout out to me.
And like, I'm not sure. Maybe tomorrow? Tomorrow. Today, no. Towels are okay.
Who are they talking to?
All right.
Put the do not disturb sign on your window.
Yeah, we should have the do not disturb sign on. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, all in. So anyway, so you get into 28 people in like a main event, right? No vacuum. You want your own service? No. I'm taking a call right now. We need to. All right. Anyway, doing a stream here, guys. Sorry about that. Anyway. So you're forced to care because it's like, you know, this
not an escort, like, guys. Calm down, for fuck's sakes. It's a cleaning lady. He's with his girlfriend.
Jesus, guys. Jesus. Come on. Chat. But anyway, so it's like these moments that, you know, they're so huge in like their equity. Like, you know, you can just lose like 200, 300, 400K in equity in just like one hand, you know? Like that's just like really no one is, I mean, there probably are people that are bankrolled for that, but really no one in poker is bankrolled for that, you know? So it's just tough because that lifestyle, the having to play 10-hour sessions, having to go to places, making it harder to work out, making it hard to eat healthy, making all this stuff harder. It's it's tough on your life. It's way worse for your mental well-being, and it's stressful. You know, like if you look at, I'm not going to name names at this table I was at recently, but I was at a table. It was a higher stakes tournament, and I looked around. I was like, holy shit! I'm the only person not going bald right now. It was insane. It was insane, and I think it's the stress.
Seriously,
I think it's the stress, man. I think poker is ridiculously stressful. But more so than that, I think tournaments are really stressful, and even more so than that, when I meet a lot of cash game people, they tend to be more level-headed people. You know, they tend to be like, they kind of have their shit more together. They understand that there's a lot of things going on in life. They understand it's their job. They try and do better. They have like a more analytical approach to things. And the tournament players, they tend to be a little more on the degen side. You know, a little bit more like trying to run it up, trying to gamble, trying to do their thing, etc. So
what's the moral of this? Okay, so Mike, do you think you're maybe underestimating some of these tournament players' overall poker ability? Because if they're only playing tournaments, they really only need to be knowledgeable about certain things. They don't necessarily need to be knowledgeable about these things a cash game hunter big blind player is going to be knowledgeable at, because they're just not playing that much. So maybe some of the things that you value as this poker ability doesn't necessarily matter as much in tournaments, and therefore they don't need to learn it, or they just won't learn it because it's not something that comes up frequently.
So I guess it depends what your question is. I was answering the question as to why people prefer cash over tournaments when it's much harder.
I'm answering that. I'm making a statement that maybe that's why you find that the tournament players, just when you talk to them about specific poker, that their logic and reasoning is different because they are approaching things from a different standpoint that, you know, maybe, you know, people like us that are playing 100 big blinds and over most of the time aren't necessarily thinking about. They're thinking about it all the time, so they see it differently than other people do.
I guess like I just think about in my life, back when I used to talk poker hands with people, and it's been many years since I've done that. But I think about the hands that I've been asked, and I do feel like with cash game players, it's the questions are more like, well, what hand should I call with here, and like, what should I do with like X hand on the turn, and you know, like, is it a problem that I don't have enough hands? You know, those kinds of questions. And then the tournament questions are like, oh man, I flopped top 2, but I knew we had a set. Do you think I can get away? And I'm just like, I don't know. There's a lot more.
No one says that question anymore. Come on, no one says that anymore.
Dude, I mean, you know what, man? I still occasionally enforce those in the tournament hands from time to time. Or, you know, they have queens and they have the guy as kings, and they're like, do I have to get this in? You know, and then unless you're somehow like Mustafa Kanit and you can just like get away. I mean, the point is the questions are way more like, look at my question that's kind of a bad beat story. You know? Right. You know what I'm talking about.
But this is just like from a general standpoint. But I guess if we're talking about at a more mid-stakes plus type player standpoint, you know, I don't feel like we're not going to see those questions.
Sure. So I guess let me just clarify a little bit more, because I don't want to say like I've been hating on tournament players for a while now, and I just want to like give them a little bit of credit. There are some good tournament players. The format is definitely a superior format to play if you like money.
Who's good?
Who is good? Let me Google. Who are poker players?
Anyone come to mind off the top of your head that's a good tournament player?
I'm like really bad at remembering names. Let me just look at the GPI right now. Let me just see here. All right. It's gonna be kind of funny because I'm gonna look down the list, and if I don't say someone, it's kind of okay. So I don't really know enough about Steve O'Dwyer. I don't really know enough about him to say much. Bryn Kenny is okay. Fedor is like pretty good, but then like he just has these moments where there's some hands that are just like, this was just totally unnecessary. Jason Mercier, nah. I don't really know enough about Nick Petrangelo. Dominique Nietzsche, I don't really know enough about either. I think Connor Drennan is pretty good. Shout out to my boy Connor Drennan, fan of the podcast, watched a lot of podcasts. I do. Even though like he does some things sometimes where I'm not a big fan. I think he's pretty good. I think Marquise is good, but again, there's some things I don't really like about what he does, but I think he's overall good. I think D. Peters is good. I think I don't know how Volpe always seems to crush, but he does, even though he does some stuff I really don't like.
Kid's a grinder, man. He's always grinding. He grinds a lot of Borgata, all the high stakes cash too.
Yeah, and then I don't know some of the people. Jake Schindler is an animal. He's just an animal. That guy could do anything at any point. Anything at any point. I don't even know if I'm talking about poker.
Anything. Just a beast.
He could just do actually anything.
He's just that sick of a beast. Really? Is he that much of a beast?
Yeah, man. He's just that much of a beast.
Sick. Man.
So I don't know. There are like good players in here. I mean, Mustafa Kanit does. He plays some hands like just terrible sometimes. Like for sure, there's really no doubt about that. But then sometimes he plays hands that are just like, I would never be able to get the result he got. You know, I would never get that. So like, I don't know what the net of that is. Although like let's I mean, all right, I'm not gonna say that. I guess I think Eric Seidel is actually pretty good. He has his moments too, but I think he's pretty good. I know a surprisingly few amount of these people. Who else is on this list is pretty good?
My buddy John Beaupres in the chat. What's up, puppy? Says Jake Schindler is the best NL player I've ever played with.
Schindler's an animal, that's for sure. There's really no doubting it.
No, their name. What about Dan Smith? Dan Smith, guest of the podcast many times.
Dan Smith's all right. I think he's all right. I think my problem with Dan Smith is that he thinks he's like the shit though. When like he's kind of like all right. He's like not bad. Like I would take him over like most tournament players, you know. But he's not like elite.
Not elite
is my way I would word that.
What about TIMEX, Mike McDonald, good friend of the pod.
TIMEX is okay. I think TIMEX not nearly as much as Dan Smith, but I do think he overrates his game just a little bit. But what I like about TIMEX is that he does have like a very overall like humble approach, and like, you know, the 2-5 bet that he did, right?
Right, 2-5 no limit bet, yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm sure it's been long enough now to where have I told the story about how this started? I don't think I have. Okay, so I think it's been a little long enough now to where I can say how this bet started. I'm sure I don't think he'd be upset with me now. So we were fresh off just getting fucked up by Ivy in the 250K. Okay,
okay.
Ivy just just clobbers through both of us. I get third, and TIMEX gets second. And so we go to dinner together, you know, just to like mull over our pain of the money that Ivy has stolen from us. And we're just like talking about 250K, right? And I say to TIMEX, I'm like, the sad thing to me is that, you know, in a $250,000 tournament, like there's like maybe like 5 or 6 people that could beat 2-5. Okay. That was my comment. And I was like trying to list them, and like, you know, there was like a few names that came up. And I was like, yeah, like Mike, I don't think you could beat 2-5 no limit. You know, which is like, and this like really just shows like the true like just craziness of the world that is high stakes tournaments. That we're playing a buy-in that is $250,000 and it's a rebuy, you know? Mm-hmm. And then like you compare that to like 2-5 no limit. And if someone said, Doug, what's harder, 2-5 no limit or a $250,000 tournament? I'm taking 2-5 no limit every day of the week. It's way harder. Okay, it's way harder. Sure, it's like I don't even know what the decimal fraction of that is in terms of stakes, but it's just way harder. Those guys work really hard. There's a lot of grinders. People have put a lot of hours at those stakes. It's a tough game. If you play 2-5 no limit, it's a tough game if you're not used to already playing high stakes and stuff, you know? And I was like, yeah, I don't think you can be 2-5 no limit. So we ended up agreeing on like a cross book where it was like, I don't remember, 5 or 6x the actual stakes on the side. Because like I didn't want to make it so big that Mike just really like could just get deep. Because like if we go like, all right, 20x the stakes, then it's like now you're playing like NL 100 or NL 10K. Right. You could like really run it up on us if you like got good at 2-5, you know. And I just like, I'm not gonna let TIMEX just beast through for like 400 or 500K here, because he does that to enough people as it is. The bank.
Hey, we're We ain't breaking no government. We ain't getting into JMO stuff around here, Poppy.
Anyway,
shout out to the bank.
Shout out to the bank. So like, I do think the TIMEX is like a winning player in those tournaments. I think that like he's one of the smaller winning players, but he is more conservative on game selection. And I think his game, like, I don't really see too many. Like, I never see a TIMEX hand, and I'm like, what the fuck was Mike thinking? You know, I never see that. I just don't think that he's as good as some of the other guys, I guess. That would be my take on him.
Okay.
Who? Anyone else you want to talk about here?
Let me think of some names. We got PLP, Pussy Loving Pertouche. Loves pussy more than anybody I know.
Oh man, I think Pratt's good. I think Pratt's good. I don't think he's done that well in the last like year or something.
Ben 86. What do you think about Ben 86 when it comes to if he's a tournament player full time? What do you think? How do you think Ben 86 would do in tournaments?
We're not going down this road. Anyway, moving on.
Someone in the chat said, "Hey Joey, Doug told the story on his stream how you kicked him out of the room when you had some hottie coming over."
Oh, I did. I told him the story on my stream.
Let me name some.
Hey Doug, I got a hot piece coming over. You got to get out of here.
What do you want me to do?
Hot piece.
Listen,
hot piece.
No, stop it. Hold on. I was grinding like 10-hour days for Supernova Elite. I was just staying inside playing poker all day long. Finally, we happened to go out when I met a girl. She's going to come over. You're staying at my house. What the fuck am I supposed to do? What's the other option in that spot? What's the other option in that spot? Tell me.
Be a bro, man. You got to be a bro sometimes.
Dude, what do you, I mean, come on, man. No, I mean, come on. I feel like I took the G2 rush out to her, even though if you would have told me in 4 years, 5 years, you'd be talking to me still, you'd not be talking to her, that might have changed my mind, but you didn't say that. So
it's all right, dude. I forgive you, but it's still a good story. So I'm still going to tell the story.
Yeah, I know. But you know that the debatable lady boy that I met, that I took to the nude beach for the first date, I met her when I was with you at that burger place down the street.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Without you there, I might never have had that potential lady boy nude beach first time date experience. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, fuck all that.
that's one of the many upsides to having me as a friend.
That's true. You are mean women, that's for sure, man. That's
man.
Good. So what's this? Is this bang bang, these shots? Is this some marketing strategy for UpswingPoker, Poppy, or what is this all about, man?
Dude, it is not a marketing strategy. I've always been like pretty like. I always just try to keep it real, you know. Like and like even on my Twitch stream, I'm just like. I'm not trying to say a bunch of shit to like get people all like angry or not angry or like I'm not here to like make people feel better about their game when they're not good. Like I'm just trying to be a straight shooter, dude. I'm just trying to like say how I feel, not go over the line because there's like a line on how much you can really say, but like not go over the line and just like say it how it is and like it. You know, sometimes like I do get like, oh man, this guy's so arrogant, and I understand kind of where they're coming from, but the thing is this, like
you kind of under.
I mean, I understand kind of
completely where they're coming from, Poppy.
Joey, it's like you know, I guess to me, what a lot of people don't realize is like it's not like I just like came into poker and then I was like I'm the best, guys. I worked at this for like so many years, you know, to get to where I am. Like, there was a lot of years. And I didn't do this in like a Dan Murr kind of way where I just like came in. I'm like, I'm the best ever, but I'm going to play nobody. I actually like went from like, you know, the smallest stakes, played actually every person heads up no limit. And I worked my way to the top. And like, I did it in like a really legit way. You know, I didn't talk a bunch of shit beforehand. I actually just went through the list. So I guess like I do feel like I've kind of earned my right to say that through like, you know, the work and the money that I've won and the time that I put in to be able to say that I'm the best at heads up no limit. And I think to a lot of people, they're like, oh man, this guy's like such a cocky asshole. And like, I'm just like really, I just think it's more of like a fact of what happened. And I don't know, maybe I'm supposed to like, is there like, I'd rather just be direct. I'd rather just say that than be like, I'm kind of like, you know, a big deal at like heads up. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say like what I think, you know? And when it comes to like talking about like poker in general or other players or whatever, I'm not gonna like just be purposely mean to people, but I do always want to say what I think, because that's really what like my whole strategy, I guess, has been as far as like creating content or doing stuff with Upswing Poker or doing stuff on my stream or doing stuff like, you know, anything that I've really done, like Twitter and anything I've done. I'm always like trying to just be myself and say what I really feel and not have any level of insincerity there, because like there's enough people that are going to lie to you. I don't want to be another one of them, you know?
Mm-hmm. I like it, Poppy. I like the approach to take with things, man. So tournament players, they're gonna be angry when they watch this, Doug. You know they're gonna be a little. They're gonna be wanting to crossbook 25x, 700x. You know what the usual response to these kind of comments are.
I mean, like the other thing is like the crossbooks are also kind of funny to me. I mean, like I've done like a bunch of, well, I've done a bunch of them. I've done some of them, and it's like I'm generally in for them as long as they're reasonable. But the problem with crossbooks is like you can get like super unlucky because like the other person can get really lucky. So you generally have to have like a cap on them, and even then it's like, let's just say I crossbook a bunch of somebody and I won a bunch. Would I say that it's definitive that my player is better or that I'm better or whatever? No, it's obviously not. It's a small sample. And so it's the same thing both ways. So it's like it you know, it's like it's an ego war with low EV because due to the variance of the buy-ins, and also having to have that cap on it really hurts the value of like the higher stake stuff. Like I'm never going to be like, all right, Joey, me and you, WSOP main event, 100% crossbook, let's go, right? Because then if one person just final tables, it's just like GG the other person, you know.
I got it. Listen, I'm gonna be a rich girl grinding for a little bit, try to find myself a new life. Then.
So anyway, the point is then you have to cap it, and if you cap it, you remove the value of like the end game, because you know you win the cap whether you get like 7th or 1st. So like cross-booking in general is just like a not super efficient way to like to play against people unless you have a massive bankroll, or you're totally cool just gambling it up, or yeah, really those two things, I guess. Those are really the only ways.
We got Luke Reeves in the chat. What's up, Luke? He said, I agree with Doug. I'm a 2K NL reg trying to break into 5K, and it almost seems as pointless. It seems almost pointless as edges are so small and Baron is so far ahead. MTTs are a complete joke.
Yeah, I mean, that basically sums up what we've been saying.
Another comment from Twitch. Some people have criticized Upswing for the gimmicky marketing. I remember Doug responding to this once in stream, but I can't remember the gist of his answer. Can you ask him about that? I've heard that from a couple of people as well too, Poppy. Some of the comments I've read on 2+2 on Twitch, on Twitter, and stuff like that.
Sorry, which comments? I was trying to read the chat.
The gimmicky marketing approach to things, and that sometimes in your stream, you're like basically your stream, you're over shilling for Upswing Poker. Essentially, is what I've read a lot from some, or not a lot, but I've read some people talk about and say.
Okay, yeah, sure. So basically, when it comes to selling products, there's a reason why these like gimmicky marketing, you know, I don't really like the word gimmicky because I don't really feel like what I'm doing is a gimmick. I'm actually selling like good products and I'm trying to market them, you know. So a lot of the time, these things that seem like they're very markety or gimmicky or whatever, they're just generally good strat. And like for me, you know, and people probably don't know this, but like if and for the people that don't know Upswing Poker, it's me, Ryan Fee, and Matt Coletta. And Ryan Fee, what's up, man?
Listen, I'm just giving Ram shouts. Go ahead, keep going, man. Keep
going.
All right,
cool. So
keep going.
So Ryan Fee and Matt Coletta are more business side, and then I'm more poker side. Then Fee is kind of in the middle. You know, he's still a lot of poker, but then more kind of the business side. And like if we like let it full to Matt, like we're gonna go as businessy as possible, then it would have been even more gimmicky and salesy and whatever. But I have done my best to tone that down and make it more like reasonable, because like there's no need for us to really be gimmicky in that we're selling a good product. But at the same time, man, if you don't get out there and email people and get out there and talk to people and get out there and like try and sell stuff, people don't know about it, they don't click it, they don't buy it. I mean, there's a reason why there are still goddamn infomercials on TV, you know? Like, they're not up there because, like, they're not selling anything, you know? They're up there because they work. And that doesn't mean that, like, there's always that balance. Like, I want to do I always want to do marketing to help, get my name out there or get my business's name out there to help get those products out there. But then I don't want to sacrifice like who I am and, be cheesy or whatever people think. So there's a line there. Maybe I need to like tone it down a little bit more. But I think overall it's been like a good blend of like content versus marketing.
I like it. I like it a lot, Poppy.
And actually, even if you go to UpswingPoker.com and you look at what we're doing, we generally have free content. We have articles. We support your blog or your podcast. We support. We have different writers. We have free charts for people to check out. We have like a lot of like totally free stuff for people that like gives them value just for coming to our site.
Definitely agree. I think the site's awesome. There's a lot of I think you had Christy Arnett. Shout out to Christy, wrote something up. I think you had Jimmy Fricky write something up. I know Ryan and Matt are putting out a bunch of different content too. A lot of free stuff there. So even if you guys aren't just going to sign for the lab, I mean there's other stuff you can go there and consume too. So I think it's pretty great.
You can get all your latest Joe Ingram one podcast. You got to get those.
I mean, listen, debatable best podcast in poker, right?
Debatable.
I mean, it depends on what you do. I mean, I
thought you had the GTO podcast.
Listen, I'm not ready to make no allegations or claims to saying I'm the best. Depends what you like. If you want to talk like poker specific, well, I check raised the turns about 75 palms on the river. You want to get into that.
Is that your poker strategy voice?
This ain't the podcast for that, son. This ain't. Where's the turn? I'm on Jack 7-7, turn 4, turn 5, 8. So, that ain't here. Like we don't get that here. But if you want to get you want more than that.
That's actually. It's really good that you don't do that. By the way. I feel like it lets you get more guests. I feel like it doesn't become intrusive for people. Dude, so often people are like, I'll get like a poker news reporter or poker strategy reporter or poker whatever card player, whoever. I'm like, yeah, can you answer some like strategy questions here? What were you thinking in the fives hand on the turn? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to give you like free strategy stuff that you're going to advertise your own product with my name to like give you strategy content. Like, no. And actually, like, man, like the more I learn about the world of like these like media sites, the more it's just like,
what you mean, Doug? Oh, wait, what you talking about, brother?
I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'm really supposed to say, so I'm not.
Why not? What do you mean? What can you say? Can't speculate.
Just like the companies that own companies, and I just
companies that own companies. What's that mean? I mean, I already know. These conversations are fun, guys, because I already know the answer to some of my questions. So. Why don't
you don't say, Joe? You actually know these answers. I actually let's not get on this road. I'm not totally sure what I'm supposed to say or not say. So let's just.
Does that get you in trouble? You think?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I really don't know. We're gonna steer clear here.
I give you the dooms. Okay.
So let's take. You want to take some questions from these people? What are the people saying? What are the people saying here?
Okay, nice segue, Poppy. Nice segue here. That was a good one. So wait, you're streaming on Twitch. You're gonna be streaming Scoop like 100 days a week. You're streaming the $21,000 event as well too. Like, what's the Scoop schedule plan? Let people know that want to watch you, man.
So I'm gonna be streaming May 8th to May 15th just straight. I'm gonna do 8 straight days. I've never done something like that before. So we'll see, like, if I can
let me back up. Doug did a 25 NL prop bet where he played 16 hours a motherfucking day and streamed it all. So when he says he's never done something like this before, he means that.
Okay, that's actually true.
He means that he's done something this 9 years ago. So okay, go ahead.
So that's actually very true.
Okay, let's forget that.
So I have done this before.
Let's not forget one of the inspirations for my first prop bet, Doug's 25 NL prop bet.
That's true, man. I was the first prop bet. I was the first big prop bet. Then
your prop bet inspired my prop bet. I did. That was the inspiration for my bet. I was like, oh shit, this looks dope. And then I wanted to do something similar. So it was. I appreciate you laying the foundation. But go ahead, tell about the Scoop.
I laid the foundation.
Laid the foundation, kid.
Yeah, what were we just talking about? I was thinking about the streaming. So yeah, so I'm gonna do 8 straight days. I'm gonna just wake up early and then just grind tournaments like all day. I'm gonna play all the hot Scoop highs. I'm gonna play both 21Ks on stream, but I'm actually gonna do it a little bit different for those. I'm gonna cover my whole cards because I don't want to be giving away all my strat here to the 21. Like 21K is like too much money to just kind of be like, all right, I'm just gonna give away like my hands to the people I'm playing with, you know?
Wow. Okay.
But everything.
So you're not gonna show the whole cards in the big event, the $21,000 event.
In both 21Ks, I'm gonna hide my cards. I may hide them in the scoop main high. Other than that, though, I'm gonna show my cards for all of them.
Talking about someone in the chat said he played NL 25 for 16 hours a day. I actually played NL 25 16 hours a day during my prop bet too. It was full ring and it wasn't 6-max. So we both somehow played far too much NL 25. I want to give a couple of shout outs. Hold on. We got my buddy Pete, one of the best writers.
Oh, what's up, Pete? Dude, is that Pete?
You know Pete?
No.
Oh, Pete's a writer for High Stakes Database. Always writes a lot of good stuff. Writes about the podcast too. He'll probably write about this podcast. I'll give another shout out to my boy David out there in the chat. Where'd David go, man?
Wait, I think I actually know that Pete now I'm thinking about it.
You know Pete?
Is it Peter Nichols?
Yeah, man. You know Pete?
Yeah, I know Pete. What up?
Yo, shout out to fucking Pete, baby.
Pete. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete. Get it. My boy David Huber. What's up, David? He writes for Poker Update. He also writes some really great reviews for certain podcasts. He also writes a bunch of good stuff on pokerupdate.com. Shout out to my boy Dave. My boy Will out there. What's up, Will Puppy?
I love this question. Will Doug guarantee us a victory in the scoop?
You calling your shot, bro, or what?
I mean, how many events are there? Let me look here.
My boy Will Schilber. I don't know how to say your last name. Will Schilber, Puppy. Backdoor Quadra. What up, kid?
I think that the events are too big to guarantee a victory.
You thinking maybe what about a potential crossbook with some of the tournament guys from those events that you play?
I don't know, man. Like it sucks having to stream for that because like I'm gonna purposefully be playing like not my A game, so it's like I don't know. It's a little too dicey. I think it's just a bit too dicey. Dude, I'm pumped for scoop. Are you gonna scoop it up?
Yeah. No. Maybe.
Oh, okay. I mean, it wasn't a trick question.
I'm gonna be scooping it up from the great country of the United States of America, Poppy. Of course, you come on.
Why don't you go to Canada for the scoop?
I mean, you really got to go to. I mean, do you have to go to? I don't know how it works I don't know how it works these days. I don't know. Do you have to go to Canada and play a scoop? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Well, you're welcome to go to other countries, but you have to go to another country.
Is that true?
Well, I mean, it was for me.
No, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's true. I've heard both sides of the case. So
you've heard both sides of the case.
Allegedly, listen. I've allegedly both sides of the case.
Have people come onto this podcast and talked about playing Stars in America?
Because
that's bold. That's a super bold.
Hold on. Let me think about this for a second.
Have you ever had Hastings on?
I've had Hastings on. Yeah.
Nice.
Post Hastings.
Oh.
Not yet. No, I haven't had Brian on yet. No. Post Hastings. Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe we should make that happen.
Would you just call it Hastings Gate?
I don't know, man. Yeah, Brian. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Brian, man. I like Brian. Yeah. Brian's the man.
You know what? He's actually a really nice guy.
Very nice guy.
He's super upbeat, like very happy guy. And he's like, I think he's reasonably good at poker in the little bit that we played on the Noel Hayes account.
What was that?
I said I think he's pretty good at poker in the little bit we played while he was on the Noel Hayes account.
I want to go back to the Stars thing in USA. You know what happens, right? Allegedly. There's like operations being you know about? No?
I don't know, but I assume you're gonna tell me more so I can be in the know.
Listen, there's like operations happening out there. People are running businesses of this where they're making this happen for certain players from the United States.
I guess for me,
let me ask you a question. Is that even like a thing anymore? Is that something that, I mean, do people still care, you think?
About VPNing?
About something like that taking place, yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's okay. So the word "people" is weird. I think that there's two different things here. If we're talking about multi-accounting or we're talking about remote access or VPN or whatever. So let's talk about those as two separate things. Let's talk about the multi-accounting thing first because I think that's an interesting subject. I've said this before. I can't remember if it was when I was on your podcast last or not, but I'm really not a fan of sites and maybe even really governments, but let's just like keep it small and think about sites. I'm not a fan of like imposing rules that have absolutely no way to enforce them. And I feel like multi-accounting is one of those rules where how do you really stop it? Like for example, let's just say that like I'm one of 10 people and we're all the highest stakes in a game, okay? And we're all like about the same skill level, so there's a lot of play going on. People are trying to figure out where they rank and try and make money. Now let's say 3 people team up and they alternate what accounts they use. They're going to have a really big advantage over the other people, you know, when they play them.
Like a team barcode sort of thing like that.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
So they're going to have a really big advantage when they play other people. And the problem is by not doing that, by playing by the rules, I'm taking a hit in my hourly, and that actually can be enough to go from positive to negative. Okay. So really what you're doing here is you're like, hey guys, the people that are going to not play by the rules get to make more money. And the way that we're going to enforce this is we can't. So you're really incentivizing people to like not play by the rules. And especially as like games get tougher and people become closer in terms of skill, you know, you're more so hurting the people that are going to play by the rules by having these like unfair rules that are in play that don't make any sense. Like, why not just have everyone be able to have whatever account they want? You know, I mean, I don't really see a reason why not. I mean, maybe there's problems for that on like, I guess like a financial fund or I don't exactly know what the problems with it are. My main problem with it is by having this unenforceable rule, you hurt the people that play by it. And then like, you're still always going to have people multi-accounting. It's always going to be a thing, you know, and at the end of the day, how do you prove that they, you know, how do you prove it's multi-accounting? So I guess like I just have like a kind of problem with that. And I'm sure people have multi-accounted me before. And I'm sometimes it's been a little more gray. Sometimes Noah Schwartz is on yelling about my pink vest. So I really don't, not Noah Schwartz, sorry, Luke Schwartz, not Noah Schwartz, different people, Luke Schwartz. Anyway, so you know, I feel like I dislike the current policies there with multi-accounting. Back to VPNing. The sites have like a responsibility to not allow that, or else, you know, it could be Black Friday, you know, Black Friday too, you know, like just the DOJ just like, they're like, all right, you're not playing by the rules. And the other big problem for Stars is they decided to not play by the rules. They're finally getting a little bit in, man. They're in New Jersey. You know, they're making plays, getting ready for if like stuff goes down in California or Nevada. You think PokerStars isn't like trying to be as on top of that as possible, trying to be the #1 guy ready to go if like things like, you know, become bigger in America? They're for sure positioning themselves to do that.
Why do you think it's? Go ahead, finish that statement. I'm gonna ask our question.
So I'm just saying that like the sites have a responsibility to, you know, do their due diligence to ensure that the people that are playing are Americans, are not in America, in order to protect their company's interests moving forward.
Why do you think it's okay, from people's perspective, to VPN onto other sites that aren't PokerStars? For instance, 888 Poker, iPoker, Party Poker, some of the maybe country-specific sites that you don't live in that country over in Europe. Shout out to Svenska Spell, shout out to Winamax. Why do you think it's okay from other people's perspective when you say some things like that? Like when people ask me, where do I play? Well, you know, on track Euro sites. Why is that looked upon as something that people are like, all right, that's fine, when it's pretty common knowledge a lot of the higher stakes guys are playing all those other sites as well too?
Well, I don't think that people like, I don't have a problem with people VPNing, obviously. I don't think really any of the actual poker players themselves have a problem with that. I'm talking about the sites have a problem with it because it potentially hurts their, you know, future ability to do things. And really, like, when you look at like the stance that PokerStars has taken versus, let's say, like 888 or Party Poker or whatever, PokerStars has obviously taken a much more aggressive stance. Where like I mean, people do it, but like PokerStars catches people and confiscates money, and like they don't just like let you use like whatever VPN service and just like click on their site and get in there. You know, they actually do like some like, you know, they do a little background check. And I don't know if that's because a lot of these other sites, they're not really planning on ever trying to make moves in the US again, or they just like don't want to deal with it, or, you know, maybe they're not even positioned to be able to deal with it. But you know, they're like kind of letting it go. Now, I don't think any of the actual players have a problem with it. Like, I mean, I don't have a problem with people VPNing. Like, why would I care? It's not like they're cheating. They're just like playing from America. So like, I don't really, I guess I don't really see like like what people think about other people doing it doesn't really matter because it's like really up to these companies themselves.
Okay. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Guys, give us some questions for Doug here, man. I was trying to keep this one under an hour, but we got a little fired up here with the
Oh, I see. So let's talk about, there's actually a question here that I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
So no one says, have any of you two heard about virtual currency gambling with CSGO skins? Would you ever play on CSGO skins poker website that had actions at higher stakes? Billions of dollars are bet in CSGO skins. Now, do you know much about this, Joey?
My little brother does it, but I don't know too much about it.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the way that it works. On Steam, and a company named Valve owns Steam. And Steam can have a bunch of different games you play, and their most popular one is CSGO. So CSGO, or otherwise known as Counter-Strike Global Offensive, has kind of an in-game currency, okay? You can buy guns that look cool, all right? Now, I don't really understand why it's so big, but it is big. And additionally, like sometimes they can do stuff. Like some guns are called stat track, and like every time you kill someone, you get a little extra number on your thing. If you stab someone with your knife can have like a little notch on it to like have another notch, you know. But anyway, the point is, these skins have value, and some of the value can be quite high because not many of them are drops. Okay. So there's items that are more rare that have real dollar value. Now, what's happened is people have started to use these to gamble, okay? And like you can bet on matches, you can just straight up like flip with people. There's like a bunch of gambling. Basically, what's starting to happen is people are converting US dollars into these skins. And it's kind of hard to get them out back to US dollars too, although people are trying to solve that problem. But anyway, they convert US dollars or whatever currency into these skins. They trade them, they gamble them, they do whatever, and then try and get their money out, or maybe they just use it to buy more skins or buy other games. You could buy games on Valve's client. But the thing that's really happening a lot now is people are betting on matches. So like I'll bet like a $20 gun that like a famous team. You probably don't know any of the names. Let's just say a team like Fnatic. Okay, they're a big team. I'll bet a $20 gun that Fnatic will win, and if they win, I might get a $30 gun back. But if they lose, I lose my gun. Okay, and what's happening is there's this massive world of what really just is underage gambling going down, with billions of dollars being bet on these matches. Some of these matches have like hundreds of thousands of guns being bet, okay, that have real US value. And now there's even more sites. There's like have you heard of like Bitcoin like dice sites?
I haven't.
All right, well, not to get too far off topic, but there's sites where you can gamble Bitcoins and like randomly picks a number and you may or may not win. But anyway, there are sites like that for the skins, and basically there's this whole world of underground, skin gambling through Valve. And what Valve is doing is Valve, like, this has made Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It is currently the second most popular game, PC game in the world. Okay, number 2. I can see that your interest level here is high.
Snapchatting here, Poppy.
Anyway,
Snapchatting here.
So CSGO is the second most popular PC game in the world, and this skin industry is driving it, and Steam is basically just kind of like letting it go. So I feel like Steam is eventually going to be in trouble here. This is not what the person asked. I'll answer that in a second. But I think Valve is eventually going to be in trouble here because they're really just like allowing this gambling culture to exist. Now, would I ever play on a CSGO skin poker website? Probably not. It's like pretty hard to get your money in and out. But I mean, if it was easy, I don't see why not. But like, there's obviously some super huge logistical problems there.
Interesting. So, do we think it's going to get shut down, or is this something that can last, or what? What do you think?
I mean, this company has like so much money. I'm sure they have lawyers that are telling them a bunch of different things, and I'm also sure that they're gambling themselves a little bit, and that it doesn't, because like Counter-Strike has always been a big game. But this has put them like number 2 in the world big game. Like, I don't know what their revenue is. I'm sure it's insanely high. But like, if they just don't say anything and they're like, yeah, we don't support gambling at all. No gambling, guys. Don't do any of that gambling. And then they just kind of let people gamble. It's like, I don't know what's the legality on that. I don't know. I actually just don't know.
Interesting.
The whole like the world of the internet is just like a crazy place, dude. It's a crazy place.
Never mind. I'm not going to talk about that. It is a crazy place. So how are we equating this to poker? Do you think something like this could be done at poker? Is there a similar?
Well, someone was saying using those skins as a way to play poker, which like I don't even know what that would look like, but probably would not play on it. Probably would not play on that.
Yeah, the world is an interesting place. The internet's interesting, man. You got a bunch of YouTube channels that do this, do that. I mean, there's so many ways to make money. You got the webcam girls selling their panties for Fortnite. I mean, it's just there's so many like weird small things that you can do to make money these days that don't require you leaving your room. You just do it from your bedroom, and that's all you can do.
It looks like you do a few of those yourself, Joey.
Which one do you think I do?
I don't know. I'm just saying you've been in your room a lot.
Shout out to me.
I gotta
tell you, man. So, Doug, I actually got an idea for you here. Okay, and think about
What's
this.
your idea? Sure.
Okay, something maybe me and you'd be good at this job. So, all right. So I was researching. So I was researching something. I was researching the Japanese porn industry because I couldn't figure out exactly why the Japanese porn like is so fucking weird.
You don't have to explain why you were doing it.
No, I got you. I gotta get back to it. I ended up on this article about these houses for webcam models in Eastern Europe places in America and stuff like that. Then I was like, all right, like let me check out like what this is all about. These chatterbait models, the webcam models.
Oh, this is a thing.
Right. The strategies being employed by these streamers are so bad. Like just the overall everything just seems so unoptimal. And I was just thinking if
suboptimal.
Yes, if two GTO guys got together, if two GTO guys got together and just put like a stream house on where you set up, a couple stream like there's potential to definitely make some. Just the strategies. I can't believe the strategies that some of these.
Are you proposing to me that we set up a stream house of webcam models? Is that what?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Discuss the idea.
I'm in. I mean, how can that go badly?
How what? They're not having sex. They're not fucking people. I mean, they're kind of fucking themselves. They're not
yet.
Well, I think that's legal, though. I think you can do that. That's like there's.
I mean, like, yeah, we could totally do this. We're the guys. We are the go-to guys here.
I was just thinking. I just noticing the strategies being employed are very poor. But also, there is maybe some business.
What do you think is wrong with their strategies?
Oh my God, Doug! Don't even get me fucking started into this, man.
Well, I mean, you can't just like tell me the idea and not like.
Okay, I'll tell you. So for instance, a typical strategy being employed is like, you got these women in these suboptimal streaming conditions. They don't know how to really engage with the audience that's watching. They don't got the best quality sort of webcam. Their audio is a little messed up. Think about it. Put a little bit into the audio, put a little bit into the webcam, put a little bit into your fucking surroundings, make your surroundings a little bit more presentable so you're not looking like you're in an Eastern European fucking dungeon or something like that. Like make yourself look a little bit higher class. Work on your social media. Their social media games. So, just doing a little research. Their social media games poor. Their description, everything else is bad. The way that they're monetizing their other products in terms of videos is poor. Picture. I did a lot of thinking about this.
It sounds like you were born to do this. It sounds like it. Like you seem to know the ins and the outs, if you know what I mean.
Listen, I spent maybe 1 hour. Bang bang. I spent maybe 1 hour researching this, and I couldn't believe at the strategies being employed. It's like a micro stakes tournament happening out here.
I'm surprised your research lasted that long.
Bang bang.
Oh man.
Kid, I'm used to playing long poker sessions and having to last that long. So I mean, you do something like that, I mean, come on. Point is that I think there's some business opportunity there, and I just want it's for free if someone else wants to do that. But yeah, that's what I got. I don't know, man.
Yeah, actually, I want to talk about the social media thing for a second, but on my front rather than on webcam models. I had like kind of a realization in the last couple of days, and you know what I thought about? I was like, man, I've been like learning a lot about like the world of like gaming and like the people that stream games, and like I've been on Twitch for like a month and a half now or whatever, and like I really wish that earlier on in my career I realized that these things were important. Because like I basically just spent the last like 5 or 6 years just being like, I'm just gonna play poker and make a lot of money and just like, do my thing. And now like I realize like there's a lot of value in just like being able to like be active on social media and have followers, and have people that want to know what's going on with you, who want to hear what you have to say. And so like I'm gonna try and put like a better foot forward into like growing my social media presence.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this in the first podcast we ever did together, maybe 2 years ago. Shout out to Power Poker episode 1. I know we've definitely discussed this thing, and you said it somewhere. I was like, why don't you just like do more stuff on, like, why aren't you doing more on that front of things? And you're just like, whatever. But yeah, so what do you think that value is? Because I completely agree. I think there's just value in being that type of something.
Well, I think so I think there's a lot of like very direct ways that it's valuable for me. And those ways are things like, trying to like work with, maybe get sponsored as a poker player, maybe try to get like UpswingPoker more out there, maybe try and get other thing. I got some other stuff in the works too coming up. Some more stuff in the works that I can get that out there.
Define stuff. What kind of stuff?
I got some stuff in the works.
What does this mean? What kind of stuff?
Got some might have a little poker software thing in the works, but we're gonna let that go.
Upswing solver?
It's not gonna be related to Upswing actually. But anyway, so the point is this: like by expanding like your social media presence in all these different areas, you can reach more people, and I'm gonna really try to do a better job with that. I'm gonna give a little plug here for myself. I just got an Instagram. You can follow me there at Doug Polk Poker. I'm on Snapchat now, WCG Writer, and Twitter still.
Yo, my Snapchat game's so fucking strong right now. Honestly, I've been trying to go after that, man. Snapchat. Nice. I'm gonna put you on Snapchat here, kid. Hold on, me.
All right, you got it.
Let me throw a little ad on you here, son. WCG Writer. Everyone go add WCG Writer. I'm joining everyone on there. Especially when Vegas comes around, I'm gonna be I get out of line on poker trips. You see naked people, sometimes myself, sometimes other women. Shout out to them. And
shout out to them.
It definitely gets out of line. Nice avatar here, Poppy. What are you doing? Nice avatar, kid. You look good on here, man. You don't look like you. You look like you don't even look like this, honestly.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So social media, on the social media grind. You get the grind.
I'm gonna get out on the YouTube grind. I'm gonna get on the I'm gonna get a Facebook page grind, like a Facebook like group page or whatever page grind. I'm gonna get all this grind. I have one video on my YouTube right now, and it's a video of me and JMO from like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's actually like a pretty great story. I'm glad we caught it on video. But we had just left this club in Tokyo at like 7 or 8 a.m. and like we were pretty drunk, but JMO was like fucking like just blasted. He was just blasted, and like we like look over at this river, and there's like this like river bay inlet area. I'm like, JMO, how much do I have to pay you to jump into that right now? And like we're like wearing like jeans and like dress shirts and stuff, and somehow we settle on around 5K. And so then I start rolling the camera. And like he basically starts like chickening out, and like I up the amount that I'm betting, but like the whole time he's like, oh, I'm like way too logical to do this. I'm like too logical, like that's really. He's like, I could swim the length. I could swim the length, and he's just like, it's a great video. But I want to start like maybe doing my own like every day, or like not every day, but a few days a week, just like wake up and just like talk about shit in poker. I think people would like to hear that from me. I think maybe not. I could always just see if it works or not. But let's start doing some YouTube stuff, like get some videos out there on stuff people want to see or want to hear about from what I have to say. Maybe do some like highlights from my streams on there. Try and do stuff with other people, probably like, Joey, your boy Joey, whoever else, So I don't know. We'll see. I don't really fully know what it's going to look like. But I do know that I think these things are valuable, and I'm going to spend more time trying to grow them.
So you sound like you want to do all the things that I just don't want to do. You always like, why don't you do more of them? I'm like,
Yeah, man. It's actually really tough, like when you're going from trying to be like only a poker player, and especially like when I look at like my career in the last year or two, like I got to play so little poker online. And I still like was working on heads up no limit stuff, and I was like, you know what? Like, I got to do something different. You know, I can't just like sit here and not play anymore. I gotta do something different. And especially with like Poker Stars, like kind of like putting the hit on a lot of the high stakes games. You know, I just feel like it's time to start trying to do more business type stuff, social media type stuff, get my name out there, and then like try and use that to like build like who I'm going to be after poker. Because like, you know, I had so much fun climbing the Heads Up No Limit ladder. Like seriously, those were some of the best times of my life. It was so fun to wake up and challenge someone different each day, and I got beat down so hard to the lower stakes so many times in that journey, and I always just tried to study, learn, and get better. And like, I cannot say how rewarding it was when I had finally beaten down like the last guy, when I'd like finished off the challenge versus Sauce, and I was like, damn, I like actually did it. Like I beat these motherfuckers. Like I made it. And like to have gone through that journey over that many years, I guess like part of me is just like, don't let it go. Like, come on, man, just stay there. Like it'll be okay. But the thing is, you don't want to like stick in something where, you know, it's passing, like the industry is changing, and like you don't want to be stuck. Like I'll give you a good example. People that still play Limit Hold'em in 2016, I'm sorry guys, but it's time to move on. You know, there are people out there that do that, and like if you didn't hop on like the No Limit train and the PLO train and the tournament craze and whatever, you like lost out on a lot of EV. And like I don't want to be the guy that like didn't branch out, because like I still do love Heads Up No Limit. I love it, but I don't want to be stuck in it and then not branch out to like try and do bigger things.
I like it, man. I like it. Very GTO approach, my friend.
Thanks.
Very GTO approach. I like it, Poppy. You're almost gonna convince me now, man. I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. I don't know. I remember we had a nice discussion the other day about business in general. It was quite funny. It was funny to see how you've come in 1.5 months from us literally having this same conversation like a month and a half ago to now. It's I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Like I told you many times, Doug, you know, if it's business and poker, or whether it's outside of poker, you know, I mean, you're probably going to do pretty well at it, kid. So is that your overall goal though? Get outside of poker? Is that the sort of plan potentially? Just I
mean, I'm not saying outside of poker necessarily. For the time being, like I really like what we're doing at Upswing. We're going to grow that. I'm putting a lot of time into like creating our products and like making our you know, lab membership better. But you know, and I'm obviously spending a lot of time streaming. So like I'm not saying like I still love poker, man. Like I am saying I still love poker. I'm not saying I want to leave, but what I'm saying is I just want to be able to transition to other things. And when I say like, you know, Heads Up No Limit, I mean like my main job is like battling people Heads Up No Limit versus like being more of an entertainer, being more of a coach, being more of, you know, kind of involved in the background of these things, you know, rather than just being the guy who's playing the high stakes heads up, because like I just don't think that that's really got that much of a future online. So let me ask you a question, Joey. Right now, 100-200 battle going on. PLO Supernova 9 versus DDMFI. Who you got? Who you got in that match? Who you like? Who's more GTO?
I got Ansky. Why not? I'll take Ansky here.
You got Ansky? Oh man, I think I got Ansky too.
I want to ask you something. I want to ask you something else unrelated to this.
Sure.
Because are you first up? What do you think about on Twitter? Say on Twitter, right? What do you think about the overall strategy of following, unfollowing people? When certain people follow you, do you ever like feel like you're obligated to follow them back? If someone's like, you don't like some of their tweets, you just mute them, but they're like someone in poker, so maybe you don't want to unfollow them, you just want to mute. Like, what's your overall thoughts on that particular stuff, Doug?
I mean, like it's like this. If you want to follow someone, you should follow somebody. If you don't want to follow them, then don't follow them. And you can't follow people expecting them to follow you back, and you can't like.
No, what if the other way around? I mean, I'm not talking about that. Let's talk about the other way around. What if they follow you? Do you feel like sometimes there might be certain people you feel like it's an obligation to follow them back sometimes, or you might want to hurt their feelings?
I don't feel that.
Okay.
I mean, like, either like you follow people for a couple of reasons. You either follow them because A, you find them interesting, or B, you want to support them as a person. And if you don't feel that strongly about either one of those things, then don't follow them. You know?
Okay.
If you want to support them as a person, though, then follow them. But if you don't really care, then don't.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Why is it? Is this really that crazy?
Okay. Let me get some shout outs in the chat, man. And we take a couple more questions for Doug, and we'll wrap things up in a little bit. Who we got in the chat? We got Goonies for Life. What up, puppy? McNitty. What up, McNitty? Wayne King. D-Dog Killer. What up, D? O Toodles. You want to get in their pants? Poker Guy Rio. I Splash Cranberries. Puppy. Riddix. If you guys are on Twitch and you want to find more podcasts, check out my YouTube channel at Join Your One. You can find the replay of this podcast on my channel in its entirety as well, too. My boy GP, what up, GP Puppy? Poncha, what up, Ponya? My boy Daniel, what up, Daniel? Albert Chen, Craig Bell. What are your views on knitting and coloring and books of relaxation? GTO. Mr. TOS, what up, kid? Joe Matan. What?
These shout outs are great.
I know.
I need to learn like I feel like when I give people shout outs on my stream, I just like I give them the shout out and I'll try and chat a little bit if I can, but like your shout outs just sound like super like natural and like you just like throw in a bunch of stuff. It's great. These are great shout outs.
Well, a lot of these guys are hardcore regs, Poppy. I know these motherfuckers, man. I've been giving these motherfuckers shout outs for a long time. My boy Butt Farm Poker, what up, Butt Puppy? Brendan D's always in the motherfucking chat, man. What up, Brennan Splash Cranberries, ATs, Invest Gaming, Frankie B. These are all guys that are
Frankie B. Is that Frankie B from NYC? I know that guy.
You know that motherfucker, Frankie B? What up, Frankie B, Puppy?
He's in my streets too here, man.
Yeah, man, he's a quesadilla 11 margarita drinking motherfucking true Spaniard in the house from NYC. What up, Poppy? Why does Doug charge for rebroadcast? Question for you.
Well, you mean for on Twitch?
I got a better question. Comment. Papito asked Doug if he's ever gotten a Vegas whore / mamacita. That's good comment. He's our resident Backpage expert, Doug. If you ever have any Backpage questions,
that's good.
Comment.
It's good to have a guy for that.
He sends me snaps. He sends me some fun snaps, man, for sure. He go back to that question. Why do you charge for your rebroadcasts?
So we feel that especially when you have a training site and you're trying to sell like coaching information, it's kind of tough to be like, oh yeah, we have good products to teach you stuff on our site, but you can watch like unlimited hours of Doug playing for free. So we feel like it's like a good way to kind of gate that content and not make it more fair, I guess, for people that would be watching our content on our site.
All right, Kzar96, what up, Kzar Puppy? I think I've seen him on 2+2 a bunch over the years. What's your opinion on OTB Red Baron's game? That can't be.
He's obviously the nuts at 6 max. Heads up, I'm not really sure. He does some weird stuff, so I don't know.
Okay. Chevy Cash, what up, Chevy Puppy? Thank you for the emails. Yeah, guys, I said I want to get some emails in. I'm going to do some mailbag stuff, some written and video mailbag stuff. You can send me emails, joeypokerlife@gmail.com, and I'll put some of these emails. If you have any questions, about life, about love, about the soul, about the heart, about a girl, big girl, small girl, short girl, tall girl, any girl, guy, whatever you're into, SD and the guys is fine. Let me know. Get in touch with me. Send me an email. SD says, is Doug Polk single? The question all of us want to know, Doug, are you single? Or
no, I am taken. I am not on the market, guys.
When are you getting married to Kaylin, man? What's up, Hat? What's up with that?
You
sound like you're kind of talking for marriage, Poppy. I got to be honest with you. Some of the things you're saying.
Let's just slow it down. We're having a good time.
No, Doug. Okay. Shout out to your mom. Shout out to the family. They're probably watching out there right now too. Are they? What's the fam been saying about the pod? About you? About the new thing, Upswing Poker? What have they been saying about this, man? They excited? They like it or what?
They've been following in. It's been fun for them too. It's tough though because like I feel like my mom, she'll like tune in. She's like, I don't really understand what's going on like at all, Mm-hmm. But she's still supportive. Like the fam's supportive.
Your mom liked the Facebook post today, and I looked at her and I was like, that looks just like you. It's fucking kind of a little freaky. And your sister's, how tall is your sister, Poppy?
Like 5'11" or 6 feet.
Yeah, I saw it in the photo with you. I was like, how's she as tall as Doug? I mean,
heels a little.
Oh, that's true.
They're crafty.
Fucking those women, Poppy. Doug, we got anything else we want to add here, kids? So you're gonna be streaming every day starting Sunday, not 8 days straight starting Sunday, all day long. Tournaments, yay! And You're going to be on Instagram at, what are you on Instagram? At Doug Polk?
Instagram at Doug Polk Poker. Snapchat, WCG Writer.
Can that be GTO? That doesn't seem GTO. You got a bunch of different fucking names here, Poppy. I have
3 that are the same, and I have 1 that's different.
Doesn't seem GTO.
Oh, does they have all the exact same name?
You can, yeah. Why? Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Can you change on Snapchat?
Yeah, go hurry up. So I'm gonna think that shit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah.
How can you?
I think it's. Yeah, I think so. Maybe not. Actually, I don't know.
Be changed. Yeah,
you might not be able to.
So I mean, but they're all this. Everything's Doug Polk Poker other than Snapchat. I mean, that's like whatever. Like of all the things I'm trying to do, I think Snapchat's like the least important. No, it's GTO.
No, it's not what I've been. Now I've heard Snapchat is going to be the biggest social media platform in 1 to 2 years, if not sooner.
Oh,
yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Snapchat and Instagram, then Facebook.
I think YouTube is probably the most important, though, man.
Cordy B with the host. What's up, Cordy? Man, one of my favorite female tournament streamers on Twitch. Cordy B with the host. Thank you, Cordy. We're getting close to near the end of the podcast here. But what do you say you think that what is?
I think YouTube is like going to be the
social media. Well, I don't think they
necessarily. No, not social media, but just for like doing stuff. You know,
doing kind of stuff. What do you mean?
For like getting your name out there, like getting views. Like, I mean, YouTube's just so big.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because a lot of people gain followings without really having to use YouTube. I feel like you gain the following sort of on other platforms, and you use YouTube to tie it all together. Like you can sort of host all your content but also people are just YouTube people too, and they make Snapchat for the extension of YouTube for other people to follow along more with them. So it's certainly an interesting subject for sure. The guys in the chat, 2 more questions. That's it. Doug, what are you looking at? What are you reading, Poppy?
Just checking something.
What are you checking? Damn the
All right, let's calm down. All right, so what are the questions? What are our questions here?
Damn, the WG sister is GTO. That question?
Sure. Is that a question, or it doesn't really sound like a question?
They don't even know my sister. My sister is. I have a sister, dude. You know that, Doug?
Tell her I'm sorry.
Bang, bang.
I'm just kidding. How old's your sister?
29, 28, 29.
Okay.
Yeah, she's well, I don't want to get too much more into that. So
okay, then don't bring it up.
Poppy is not GTO. Is your Twitch, Twitter, 2+2 names, different names are confusing. Yeah, listen, I don't give a fuck about being as much GTO as someone like my boy businessman Doug Polk over here. Shout out to Doug Polk. So
you're just holding me up to a different standard than yourself, is what you're saying here.
For sure, yeah. You're Mr. GTO. Me, I'm Mr. on GTO. Like I just do whatever. All right, one more question. I'm gonna look in the chat.
All right.
Best question. If Joey are dumb, okay. Heads up for anything with that guy. Who's your poker idol, Doug? My poker idol is Cordy B. Cordy B, I love her.
Here's the problem with idols. Like, I always find that like when people are your idols, and then like you eventually meet them or you like talk to them, you're like, oh, this is just a person, and they're like not that impressive. So I don't really know. I don't really feel like I have any poker idols anymore.
You could be someone's poker idol, Doug. If they meet you, you're a pretty impressive guy.
Well, thank you, Joey. I mean, I feel like I'll tell you this. I'll tell you who my first ever poker idol was. How about that?
Okay, go ahead.
First ever poker idol was ADZ124. Or what was it? 124. And I remember like I would pull up stars, I'd be playing 1 cent, 2 cent, and be like, damn, that guy plays 25-50 every day. One day I want to grow up and be like ADZ124, you know? The sickest.
So you're saying you don't want to grow up? Listen, I don't want to get the mob after me, but are you saying you don't want to be ADZ124 now? Or is that I'm not I just want to know clarify what you're saying.
Can't confirm say anything, but I remember he had like the Joker avatar and he was playing like full ring 25-50, and I would just watch that like every day. You know, and then you slowly realize
sometimes your heroes get trapped in foreign basements. Sometimes allegedly, sometimes they get in dungeons. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're with the mob. That's true, man. Sad times, man. We got to leave it at that. Guys, I'm going to be back on Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming the Seeb Qureshi, who's one of the dog his head, very old school guy, been involved in many ups and many downs in the poker world. Now he had some big thing with Airbnb or some story on YouTube, a couple other things like that in the industry. We're going to have him on the podcast. Interesting guy. Jungle Man might be on Monday. We're going to have Jungle Man Daniel Cates on the podcast as well, Monday afternoon. And then next week, we're going to have a young man named Tommy Angelo, who's one of a mindset, meditation, very, very, very smart guy when it comes to that. Been in the poker industry for a long time. Doug will be back streaming Sunday at what time, Doug?
At 8 a.m. PST, bright and early.
Holy fucking shit.
Right and early. Oh, also, guys, before I forget, after this, you can head over to the Upswing Poker channel. Ryan Fee currently streaming.
Shout to Ryan Fee. We're going to host him after this. We're going to host him for this one.
Nice.
And yeah, so you can check out UpswingPoker.com. You can check out my website, OnePokerLife.com. I'll be posting a lot of updates and recaps from the podcast. I'll be writing a bunch of different stuff if I make myself right, I suppose. And that's it. Doug, we got anything else we want to add? I don't know, man. I feel like that's it,
man. That's it. That's all we got.
We got too much now, kid. Can you believe this? I still can't believe every time we go, I can't believe it more, kid. I tell you, 10 years from now, what do you think is going to be happening? We're going to be what do you, I don't know, man. I feel like we're going to be...
I think we'll find a way to talk about it.
It's going to be crazy, man. Guys in the chat, appreciate all the comments. Appreciate all the questions. You guys were great. Doug, thanks as always for coming out. We'll catch back up with you soon. Good luck in the 300K Super High Roller at the Aria. We didn't discuss that very much, but I wish you luck in that event, my friend. As we know, the skill will rise to the cream of the crop.
What?
Oh, fuck it, man. Whatever, man. Guys, I'm out.
Always rises to the cream of the crop. Is that what?
Hold on, let me back up. Hold on a second.
That was a seriously butchered merge of two sayings there.
The skill will rise to the cream of the crop.
No.
Eh?
Let's just let it go.
The cream of the crop with the best skill will rise to the top.
All right, let's.
All right, man. All right, guys, we out. Peace. Much love.